always look so pretty.
What's that hat? What's that hat?
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Between the Pipes. I am Cameron, and always I have with me
Chad.
Who else do we have with us today?
I'm Doug Galt, the referee-in-chief for Broomball Canada.
And I'm Denny Hien, referee representing Ontario.
Okay, great. Now I'll start off with the question we always ask. What got you guys into broomball, specifically reffing broomball?
I had a gentleman approach me about 31 years ago and asked me if I'd be interested in refereeing broomball, and I thought, well, hey, I'll give it a try. I fell in love with the sport.
And so for me, it was University of Waterloo. We had a recreational program for a while there with 12 teams, and they needed a referee. It was a great way to make extra money on the side.
Cool.
Fantastic. So, I guess, Doug, you said that you're referee-in-chief for Canada Broomball. What province are you from, and what do you represent? And I guess, Denise, same question for you when Doug's done.
I'm from the province of Ontario, and I've been the referee-in-chief for the province of Ontario since 2012.
Myself, I was originally born in Quebec and I live in Ontario. I've been a referee since 2001.
Okay.
Cool. So we've gotten a full day in, and we're halfway through our second day. How do you guys feel about the competition so far? From a referee standpoint, are we looking pretty clean or a little dirty? Are there things you want to let players know about that they should be watching out for? I know one of my players got a little mouthy on the ice there, so we'll try to keep that to a minimum, but anything else?
For the better part, the competition's been excellent. The teams from each province representing themselves well. And just like any other sporting, we're going to have penalties, and the referees are staying on top of it. But our first and main job is keep the game safe, and we're trying to do that.
We're really seeing players passionate out there on the ice. They're driven, they want to do well. And as Doug said, for the most part, they're very respectful, very good to work with. It's been thoroughly enjoyable so far.
Awesome.
So, we've seen some things. There's been no major incidents. We have no SIRs yet this year, which is fantastic, which is awesome.
What's an SIR?
It's a special incident report, so when a player gets kicked out of the game, it comes to me, the referees fill it out, and then I make a decision based on what the referees put on there and what the rule they broke, and I'm the gentleman who goes and tells them they're suspended.
So you must be loved out there.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Awesome. So, obviously things are going well. All refs are up for task. Is there any game plan for the rest of the week, Doug, that you'd like to share with us, with what's going to happen with you and your referees?
Our referees are all being assessed throughout the first 2 days, and we kind of categorize them in the top 6, and we make our selections for the finals out of that. It's definitely a difficult decision to make, but we owe it to those players who are on the ice in those final games to make sure that we have the best officials that we can put out there for them, that are going to be unbiased and allow them to play, but still enforce the rules that need to be enforced.
Very good. Denny, how do you feel you've been doing? Do you think you deserve a spot in that final game?
Well, my goal is always to do my best, and there's always room to grow and learn, and the feedback you get from Doug and the other officials is always a great way to keep developing your skills. Wherever Doug decides that I'm going to go, I'm going to do that with the best of my ability and with the best effort I can put forward.
I love it. You guys are so political. It's perfect.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, really.
Well,
so you're saying you're not a biased ref, then?
I do my best, right? As with anything in life, everybody has their past experiences, but you really need to check that at the door when you get on the ice. Whether you know the players on the ice, the coaches, past experience, you need to give everybody the same blank slate as soon as you get on the ice.
So do you feel that you ref your Ontario teams a little harder and call them a little bit more close than you would any other province, just to make it look like you're not biased?
No, I don't think I do. It's something that we do recognize as officials, that is an issue sometimes, right? You want to be as unbiased as possible, and you want to make sure that it's as clean and as fair as it can be. So it's something that we've talked as a group, and that everybody acknowledges, and work our best to make sure that's out of the game.
Okay. Now, were you guys both at the Nationals last year in the junior level? Or?
I have been because of my position. This is Denny's first year to be selected to come to juniors.
Very
and
cool.
we're trying to, because we have such a challenge of recruiting officials. The ones that we have are getting older, so the ones who are younger, we try to get here with these kids because they all run like deer, and the last thing you want is somebody who can't keep up.
So how's it going for your first time here, Denny? Is it everything you thought it'd be?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. The whole experience, everything. I've been to seniors a couple times as a player, so I'm familiar with the general process. You know, and as Doug said, we want to get the younger officials, and I'm in my 40s, and I'm, I think, the second or third youngest. So definitely, we could use a lot more people to come out and participate in the process with us.
That's true. They just have to deal with me yelling at them all the time. So.
Well, I think for the most part, the coaches have been all right. It's some players that get out of hand, but I think for the most part, the refs are keeping that in check. And like I said, we've been having a great competition so far, where we haven't had any eventful activities.
That's true. I haven't seen anything out of hand yet. Actually, I've been quite impressed with how the reffing has been so far. We'll wait and see how the semifinals and finals go. That's where it gets really important. And so far, everyone's been doing a great job, and I appreciate all the work you guys do here. So thanks for staying unbiased and working hard out there.
Yes.
I know it can be hard. I can't imagine if I was reffing. Even as much as I try to be unbiased, there's just so many people you know, and you see all the same people from your area, and it's got to be tough for sure.
100%. Go ahead.
I know that Cam and Chad have been around a long time, and so is Denny, and it's hard. It's as an official, it's a hard thing to do, and there's a lot of emotion in our sport, and players overreact sometimes, and we have to deal with it, and people aren't happy with us. It is sometimes a thankful job, but at the same time, the most rewarding job when you're on the ice on a great game, and both teams leave it all out on the ice, and you haven't had to be too involved in the play, and to make our game what it is.
That is true. The passion in this sport is unreal. It seems that once people try it, they are hooked on it, they love it, and they're passionate about it, which is phenomenal.
Well, Chad, the one thing that all my officials will say is that the broomball community is like any other. Not like any other, sorry. It's like a family. We don't see each other from year to year for some of these teams, and it's like, you know, they're friendly, you say hello, they communicate, you laugh, and that's what makes our sport such a great one.
And it's not just at the province or the Canadian level. We do have a much broader community across the world, and we see some of these friends that they will travel to play in each other's tournaments across the world, in Australia, in Japan, in Europe, and it is a family. It's you know, people say you got your family, your friends are family. Well, my broomball family is a whole other family.
I've got a local friend back home, Don Godmere, who calls his Australian family his second family, and he goes there several times a year just to play broomball and hang out with the second family over there. So
yeah, I think Don's and everybody's second broomball family.
Yes, that's true.
So, you guys seen our podcast, you know that we have a token final question, and that's, I know, Doug, I don't know about your playing career, but definitely reffing. In your whole broomball career, you've got to have one or two favorite moments. Could you give us one?
Yeah, in 2016, I had the opportunity to do the gold medal game at the juniors in Owen Sound, and it was probably one of the best games that I had been able to officiate in, and very few penalties. And we watched those boys leave it all out in the ice. And at the end of the day, when they come together, there was hugs and handshakes between the two teams, and that's very memorable for me.
You remember which two teams it was?
Yes, it was the Valley Gamblers and the Sting from Ontario.
Oh, cool.
That played in that final, and those two teams left it on the ice. But I think the biggest memory for me is a gentleman by the name of Donnie Sims, who was the referee chief of our country for a long time, and a coach, and just loved the sport of broomball. But there's one person I want to mention, and he's soon going to be retiring from our sport at the end of our senior nationals this year, and that's Mr. George Brown. George has been a mentor to me since I've been in the position of referee chief in the province of Ontario, and he's been my mentor here at the CBF. And it will be a very difficult time for not just myself, but a lot of people around our executive table and just around our sport that's going to miss him. And George has really show them that the passion for our sport is what it is. And he has instilled in me that whatever I do in my job here, be fair and be open-minded. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, George is a huge part of the broomball community. He'll be missed by more than just the CBF. He'll be missed by across the entire country for sure. He was a big part of my broomball growing up as a kid, and I remember him. We started off probably on the wrong foot, but he taught me the right ways and how I should act, and has definitely turned me around. So he's been great, and hopefully we'll still see him around the rink. I know he won't be able to stop watching, that's for sure. So
Yeah, no, he may not be the man anymore in charge, but he's definitely going to be around. And if I've got anything to do with it, he's still around for a while.
He won't be the man in charge, but he'll still be the man.
He'll still be the man. He'll be around for sure.
Right.
George actually ran when I became coach. He ran my coaching clinic in the early 2000.
Yeah, he ran
Archie's feed mill way back in Palmerston, so I've known him for a while.
Yeah, he ran my coaching clinic as well. So
So for me, I guess my favorite moment, it's kind of an off-ice thing. For a long time, it kind of bounced between teams. I started playing men's, got in a car accident, couldn't do that anymore. Went to playing co-ed with friends from school. And then kind of our team didn't have enough players, so we bounced around a little bit, and eventually we formed a co-ed team out of the Bay Area with a lot of the younger kids there that didn't really have a senior team to play on. And we entered Worlds in 2012 in Ottawa, not thinking we'd really do that well, and we ended up coming silver on the B side, which was quite nice. And it was one of those things I never really realized how much of a positive impact you could have on the younger players until 2 weeks later I decided, you know what, it's a 4-hour round trip. I'm going to go up and play Sunday mornings with the folks in Barrie. And have one of the players that was on my team in Ottawa, a young juvenile by the name of Madison, who's been on your podcast before, not knowing it was coming and run clear across the ice to give me a hug on the bench, almost knocked me over. It's not an on-ice memory, but definitely it's one that sticks with me. And it's been on my list to tell her that it is, and I guess she's going to find out because she does watch the podcast. But it really made me realize, and the main reason I'm in the sport is have that positive impact on the players, on the coaches, on everything. And if I can support somebody and be a positive role model for any of these folks, that's one of them.
Awesome, great answer. Little quick question here. Let's see if I can get you guys to be a little less political here, and give me. I won't ask you who's going to get the gold, but let's see if you can give me 2 teams that you'll see in the finals.
My prediction for the boys final is the Moose and the Blitz. I think those 2 teams are at the high peak of their game, and I think on the girls' side, Cam, I think your Eastern Thunder are definitely going to be there, and I think it's going to be a rematch of the game we just watched with T-Miss, and I think it possibly could be that. And those would be 2 exciting games to be involved with on the ice, but unfortunately I get the perch up in the press booth to watch my officials do the game. And
you got a good view at least.
Yeah, I got a good view. We can call it a great game from up there.
So you're leaving the defending champs out and picking T-Men.
Well,
Really, Doug?
he asked me to pick it.
We share the booth over there, Doug. We will have words about this later.
Your wife's probably going to see this, and I'm going to be in trouble.
Denise, what about you? Who are you thinking?
Well, I'll give you the answer: an away team and a home team. But I know that's not what you want to hear. So I would agree with Doug. I've been watching the Junior Moose all year. They play against my men's masters teams in our tournament in Central West, and they beat us every single game we played them. They have a run and gun style, a lot of flips, really fast, a lot of smart players, and they can make some great choices and pickups, which I know you guys interviewed yesterday. From the Warriors. So I think we'll be there. I haven't done tons of the other juvenile boys games and in between games. You know, we do tend to break down. We're getting old, so I'm not watching tons. But I do think we'll be in there. On the ladies' side, I would agree with Doug. I think the Eastern Thunder are very strong. I was debating whether or not Twisted would make it there, but I think the Roadrunners are likely going to be in there with the Eastern Thunder.
Okay.
Suck it up, Jack.
Well, he's going to be the new boss starting in a month.
Hey, I'm closer to the elbow. That's why.
Okay, before we go, do you have any message you want to send to the kids that are playing here this week?
Just have fun, and just remember, sometimes the officials are making calls you're not going to like, and just take the penalty. Go to the box. Don't penalize your team anymore and what they are, and just leave it all out in the ice and have fun.
And for me, I would say, at least when I'm out there, I make sure I let them know I'm watching and that they don't need to have any extracurriculars because that's my job to take care of the business.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you again. Yep.
We'll see you guys the rest of the week.